We're here on the sidelines of the Ogilvy On Wellness conference here in London, and I'm joined by Brian McCarter, the head planner for EMEA, who has been involved in a extensive global research about the pioneers of wellness. And this is not a quantitative, it's more a qualitative project that has included you going into a container where you froze yourself to minus 85 degrees Fahrenheit.
Yes, we called it rather pretentiously a kind of a cultural inquiry. So it was a qualitative or ethnographic piece of research. So, but it involved us basically going in all four continents to spend time with these people we call the pioneers of the wellness movement, the people who may be at the fringes currently in some cases, but whose ideas we feel are really informing the wellness movement and where it's going to go.
So this is the butterfly flap, which will create a...
Yes, exactly. And you know, all these movements, our hypothesis basically is culture is created at the fringes, so that's where you need to go to understand how it's going to change in the future. So in some cases, for instance, the cryogenics that I took part in is relatively out there still, though I was just explaining to you, I actually had it done in Harvey Nichols department store in the centre of London, so it's
and
close
you
to the
mainstream. Literally frozen.
I didn't freeze, but I did have my body temperature reduced, I think from about 31 degrees to about 17 degrees.
But the air you were in...
The air I was in was actually at minus 85 degrees
which is cold.
Fahrenheit, which is very cold actually, yes. Though they have ways of kind of helping you not experience it. It's quite so cold. So first of all, they keep you very active. You have to jump around and do some aerobics while you're in there. Though actually, counter to what you might think, that actually makes you colder rather than warmer. And they kind of wrap up your extremities, and you have a mask on to stop your breath freezing.
How did you feel afterwards? What was the intent?
I mean, the promises for this are extremely high. So in some senses, it was inevitable. I was minorly disappointed, I would say, but. You know, if you jump up and down in a very, very cold chamber for 3 minutes, you're going to feel a bit exhilarated. It does get your blood pumping. It was only in the last maybe 30 seconds I actually realized I was cold. But the claims they make for it, and through regular practice of this, not a single session, range from skin care, skin tightening, right down to kind of the level of cellular microbiology and rejuvenation. But euphoria is apparently one of the commonly experienced benefits.
One of the big trends in health and wellness now is mindfulness and sort of the inner mind. There was some research you did in Hong Kong in relation to a school.
That was a school actually called Renaissance College in Hong Kong. So Hong Kong, has a very particular educational culture. We describe it as a kind of a pressure cooker environment for a lot of young kids. Kids study on average about 62 hours per week. So about 6 hours of formal lessons and then 5 hours of homework plus extra lessons. And actually Hong Kong has experienced something of an epidemic of student suicide. So the people we talked to, was a principal and a deputy principal of a college there, a regular college, who introduced mindfulness as part of the core curriculum for all the students there. So all the students now in that college get 20 minutes of mindfulness practice, or meditation you might call it, as part of the core curriculum. And actually it's made a dramatic effect not just to their well-being but to academic results, which I think was a surprise.
What is a somatic space?
Somatic space is basically a space that is designed with wellness in mind. So a space which is designed not to harm us. And that may sound a bit kind of surprising or overdramatic, but actually many of the spaces in which we work do harm us. They don't work with our physiology, or rather our kind of ape-like physiology is not designed to live the way we are living at the moment, which is largely hibernation. We spend about 90% of our time indoors on average. We're quite inactive, we live in air-conditioned climates, and so on. So we're struggling to cope with our environment in many cases, and a somatic space is a space which is designed with wellness in mind to actually heal us.
So you actually identified a number of sort of larger trends underlying them.
Yes.
Are these all in reaction to society? I mean, is this the unhealthiness of the society we're living in that there's a reaction to?
Partly, I think that explains the growth of this, huge growth of this interest in wellness. But actually, our thesis is really this goes way back to the way our kind of the way we're designed and our struggle to cope with the toxic society we live in. So we are, we talk about we are still basically apes. and we haven't evolved to basically cope with the stresses and pace and demands of modern society.
Okay, and there's more people can learn about this from the...
Yeah, we've published actually a full report, and there may be an even fuller one later, but there's kind of an 80-page brochure from the conference. And yeah, that sets out kind of our more of the pioneer interviews we did, and more of the experiences we had with some of these practices, just in more detail.
So a lot more pioneers, a lot more crazy ideas, not so crazy ideas maybe,
Not so.
on health and wellness for you to experience from the white paper. Thank you very much, Brian.
Yeah, you're welcome. Thank you.